Now that the Switch 2 is here, I had a little bit of time. I thought it'd be fun to look back at the Switch and find the top 10 worst that I reviewed so far. I say so far because they're still releasing Switch games. And it's very possible in 3 years, when the Switch is most likely not getting new releases, that there's going to be even worse games. I mean, 4 out of the 10 games in this list were reviews for games that I did this year. I have no idea why so much garbage is being released at the tail end of the life of the system. Now, I've decided not to put any games in here that no longer exist. That means Popeye is not on here. The world rejected it and it has been deleted from history. If you want to see what I thought that game was like, I'll put a link to it at the end of this video. Spoiler though, it sucks. It was very hard to put this list together. I factored in how well they played, to the price that they were charging for it. I also looked back to see if there's anything fun in them. 5 through 2 could really be put in any order that you want, as they were all really bad. Just as a reminder, this is a list of games that I reviewed. Maybe there's worse games out there, but I just haven't played them. So with that said, number 10. Endless Ocean Luminous. This is number 10 because of the price and the gameplay. I loved the Endless Ocean series, but they made so many missteps making this. The procedurally generated world was terrible, as it made the world boring to explore, and the story is stopped by making you grind the world looking for fish and objects for hours. And overall, it was just really bad. Just like the original game, there is no combat, and you also don't have to worry about running out of air. You also can't collect the fish, which was disappointing because I really wanted to throw one of the many dinosaurs you see into a tank and make it my own Jurassic Park. Yes, there are dinosaurs in this game. They seem content to just hang out in this very small area of the ocean. You would think this would be locked off by the government, but this organization just says it's just keeping it a secret and basically don't think about it too hard. They also took away the ability to pet fish, which was disappointing when I tried to pet the Megalodon. All the aquatic life is friendly, which of course is insane. They say the luminous light that's all around them in this area causes them to be docile, and you're tasked with collecting the light from these creatures, which makes me wonder, how on earth do you collect light? Is it some kind of vacuum device? Does this world work on magic? Also, if the light around the sea life is causing them to be submissive, wouldn't taking it away break that spell? Number 9. Carnival Games! I love the Carnival Games series on the Wii, and I was excited to play this on the Switch. However, what we got really wasn't Carnival Games at all. It was just a bunch of mini games that look like those games without actually feeling like them at all. They give you unlimited throws and turn every one of them into mindless button mashers. So as you're watching a kid collect star bits while on skates, while wondering, what does this have to do with Carnival Games? The answer will come down to nothing. They used a great series to peddle garbage minigames. Now you might be seeing throwing a ball at a clown or rolling a ball and skee ball as carnival type games. And you're thinking maybe I'm just being extra critical. Well, these types of games normally don't have unlimited balls that you can throw as fast as you can. It was about skill and making every ball count. When you get unlimited balls and you just throw them without a thought, that's what the attraction becomes. A thoughtless minigame, which you might as well just look away and do something else while playing it. That's not to say I hated every game. I did enjoy the speed bowling one. But again, what does this have to do with Carnival Games? Since when is bowling one of them? Worse yet, you have to play the game normally and do well to get the honor of playing with motion controls. When this title first came out for the Wii, it was all about the motion controls. From throwing the rings on a peg to throwing a ball at something. Why would they do this? Number 8. My Vet Practice in the Zoo. This game is about the worst zoo in existence, as every animal in it is consistently sick. The loading times for the Switch were just terrible, and that's really sad because it was so minimalistic. The zoo environment was the best part, but it's just window dressing. You really can't do anything inside it other than driving to different animal habitats. If it was $5, it wouldn't be so bad, but they were asking almost $30 for this. The first thing you have to do is to calm down the animals by petting it. And this goes for lions and polar bears as well. 2 animals you really shouldn't be rubbing down. All of the animals looked a bit hurt or sick when they came in, which makes sense, until I got to the gorilla. And I swear to you, I started laughing so hard when I saw this. Thank goodness I wasn't drinking anything, because it would have come out everywhere. The gorilla just looks like he's ready for a good time. He's just lying there, giving me a come hither look. The game says he looks anxious, and I couldn't disagree more. I feel it looking into my eyes and saying,
"Hey, how you doing tonight?"
The game gives me the instruction that I'm supposed to stroke him to calm him down. And I can just feel the animal saying,
"Yeah, I want you to stroke me and make my anxiety go away. Let me put on some music to lighten the mood."
Where's the button to slowly back away? I can't find it anywhere.
No, baby, don't go. I think I have something that you need to get your hands on.
Whoa! You You have a rusty nail in your foot. Let's turn the music off. I need to fix you up. This is the gameplay loop. Get a report of a sick animal, help it, then come back a few minutes later to check up on them again. Number 7. American Ninja Warrior Challenge. They took what was an enjoyable show and made it into a press a button at the right time simulator. It looked terrible and controlled even worse. Quite often it wouldn't read my button presses correctly. And while it may have replicated the look of it, they forgot to make it fun. They give you the option to change the way you play the game in a casual or pro mode, or as I call it, awful or unplayable control schemes. They would simplify the controls by making you only press 1 or 2 buttons, instead of making you use a different button for each body part. I am not kidding. That's the pro controls. Different button presses depending on the extremity that you're using. I get they're trying to replicate the extreme difficulty of the show, but maybe you should try and replicate the fun of the gameplay first, then expand from there. They do give you button prompts to tell you when to press the button, but it's so unresponsive, even in the casual gameplay style. I tried it in pro mode, and the phrase "f***ing awful" comes to mind. Number 6. Chicken Range. The peripheral that came with this just didn't work. It was so confusing to use and play with. They actually changed it in the re-release, so I hope it actually works better. If you play this straight with stick controls, it was just as frustrating to play, and it's also very dull. They do give you instructions on how to play the game. It lasts about maybe 3 seconds and is super confusing. You might have thought they'd use the IR camera to help with aiming, but that's on the right Joy-Con, which is used for the trigger. And it's also completely blocked to the barrel. I do have to wonder if they even tested this. They expect you to get to a certain number of points to progress to the next level. And I can see kids not being able to pass it due to the bad controls and unnecessary play areas. What I mean by the unnecessary play areas is that you're actually expected to move the screen over a few feet to shoot chickens before they shoot eggs at you. There is no reason for this other than making it annoying. Just keep everything on one screen. Now you can't clear out the screen of eggs with a can of Shino, so you're going to want to save that until the screen is almost filled. Number 5. Thief Life Simulator. This one has an interesting history. When I originally reviewed it, it was a very broken game called Thief Life Simulator 2023 from Crook to Boss. It would have been lower on this list, but they pulled it from the eShop and only a month ago put it back on. But this time they fixed it so it actually works. It's still a terrible game though, and a ripoff of a great series called Thief Simulator. It's boring to play and very repetitive. There are so many problems with the game. The best thing I could say about it this time around is that at least it's playable. There's actually one location that had something interesting that I really wanted to break out of bounds in order to see, and it was this. It's the Slender Man, or the Silence from Doctor Who. I don't know. All I know is that it's really not supposed to be there. But after an hour of trying, and I am not kidding on that, I could show all the video, I just gave up. I used the Switch's ability to zoom in, and I could see a little bit more detail, but I really wanted to get out of bounds to see it up close. It's just too bad I couldn't figure out a way to get that done. I did go back to the original release to see if it was there, and yeah, it was. It was just much darker and harder to see. When I started actually looking at the environments closer, I was amazed that they would put it out looking like this. I mean, look at this supermarket. It's just a mismatch of random signs. And very ugly. No store in the world would ever put up something like this. It looks like something that you might find in a dystopian future. Here's the crazy part though. The 2023 game looked way better. Look how clean this is. Sure, the side of the building has a clock, which looks like the model has been taken from an alarm clock, and the time isn't even correct with our wristwatch, but it looks so much better. Number 4. Party Arcade. This is what I wanted with carnival games, a replication of what you might see when you go to one of these places. Amazingly, it's even worse than carnival games, because while carnival games was playable, this one had terrible controls, which took any of the fun that you might have had out of the game. Now, all these games can technically be played with normal controls, but they also give you the option to use motion controls. And I gave up trying to do it with button controls fairly quickly, as it was so frustrating. I think the game's creators expect a lot more precision and accuracy than the controls allow, because the one game of Cup Pong will go on forever. I never finished a match of Cup Pong, as it was impossible to get all the balls in the cups. And for some crazy reason, they give you unlimited balls. Every other game limits you on the things you could do except that one. The one game where it would be a wonderful mercy to end that game early. The most positive thing I'm going to say about the game is that I really liked the hub they had. You could walk around in the games and it felt like a real arcade that you were in. Of course, the slot machines were out of place in the middle. What is this, a casino or is it an arcade? And it looks like they only hired twins because the lack of character models was very apparent. Number 3. Baseball by Savick. This was just a broken mess. It was supposed to replicate what a game of baseball was like, only it had no balls, only strikes. The pitching would just randomly throw a ball no matter what you picked, and the outfielders were terrible and sometimes would just stop before even getting the ball. My review for this was 11 minutes long, and it even had me researching how they made the game. And the only reason it wasn't number 2 was because it was $5 cheaper than the next one on the list. Maybe it's possible that the crowd is not a fan of either team. You can see in the background they're all wearing gray and black. Why wouldn't you want to have a mixture of red and blue? So it looks like people actually want to come to this game and root on their teams. To have everyone wear dark colors makes it seem like it's more of a statement to the team saying, "F you, we don't support either of you." When you look at the stadium from the pitcher's perspective, it's empty. Why is that one part of the stadium empty when it's usually the most popular place to see a game, other than the third baseline? However, it's a ghost town, and you can see the outlines of the chairs back there, so it's definitely seats, but for some reason no one's there. And the mystery of the crowd only gets more intensified, and they panned over to them as the score was being displayed. I'm not kidding when I say I spit out my drink when I saw this. It was just a bunch of old-timey people in business suits looking like they were about to watch a 1920s baseball game. What the f*** am I looking at? None of these people have legs, and some of them are just heads with little torsos. It seems like they took a bunch of old pictures and cut their bodies in half and stuck them in the stands of this terrible baseball game. This is insanity. However, I did get an answer to why there's no one behind home plate. It looks like they just deleted them so you couldn't see this, which makes sense because it looks terrible. However, they're straight up showing you this as a glory screen when the game is over. Like they're proud of this. This broke my brain when I saw it. Number 2, Charlie Zoo of Wonders. Holy shit, this game is terrible. It looks like a PS1 game, and the controls are even worse. There are so many broken elements to this. I would have to play the entire review for you to explain them all. This is normally $14.99, and it's not even worth a penny. They let you have full control of the camera, which is good. But since it had such bad frame rates and not smooth at all, it started to give me headaches. The title starts up with you finding a person who needs help because the animals go missing, and you need to find them. This has the worst text boxes I've ever experienced in the 17 years that I have been reviewing games. Take a look at this. I don't know what's worse, text filling in from the right awkwardly, or the screeching voices they use for the characters. The frustrating part is that I don't think anyone told the creator that their levels weren't fun at all. Worse yet, when I fell into the water, I assumed I would die or swim around. It turned out neither of these things happened. I just started to walk on the bottom like I wasn't 10 feet underwater. They clearly never tested what would happen if somebody actually jumped into the water, or they didn't care. I did explore the main hub, trying to break the world as much as possible, when I got the oddest text box when I walked into a town. Did I just trigger the ending? It says that I saved all the animals and it offered me cake for doing this. However, nothing happened after that. No credits, there was no one around to actually say these things, and worse yet, no cake. Number 1. Troll and I. When I played that baseball game or Sholly, the best thing I could say about them is they are somewhat playable. You might see the bad frame rate and think, oh, YouTube is screwing up again. No, that is the way the game is presented. Worse yet, this title stopped working for me about 10 minutes in, and nothing I would do would fix it. I was in an eternal loading screen. It's possible in the 8 years since I played it, they fixed it. But I'm not going to go back and replay this. The cutscenes were broken, the world looked awful, and overall, it was the worst game that I reviewed on the Switch. And then you find your mom. She's trapped by an easily get-aroundable tree. Seriously, duck under this tree. Step over the tree. Don't just sit there like a idiot. I know this is a video game trope of something minor being an impassable feat. However, in 10 seconds from now, you apparently figure out how to get around the tree because here come those QuickTime events. Jumping or ducking under trees. The exact thing you couldn't do a few seconds ago. It was just one tree after another. It was very dull and repetitive, and the sense of geography felt wrong. It felt like I was running too much away from where I wanted to go. Also, those trees look like someone set a blowtorch on a couple parts of it. Do trees usually burn like they have pockets of gas coming out of them? I've never been to Nova Scotia before, but according to this game, their trees are made with methane gas. Then the troll we've been hearing about finally shows up. He reminds me of those troll dolls from the 80s, only without the mohawks. He chases us and the character falls down into another area with more creatures to fight. If you're expecting smooth fighting animations and intricate moves while you're beating these enemies, you've obviously been not watching this video at all, because they're all terrible. Now, there are upgrades to your movesets to make you more formidable oh, okay, they're gone. Alright, let's try another set. Oh, they're gone too. Okay, that was weird. Maybe if I back out of the menu and come back, they'll return no. Okay, guess they're gone. To be fair though, the icons are still there and you can access them. They're just invisible now. Because I guess being able to see the icon of the power you're wanting to upgrade is just for beginners. For my next video, I'm going to review my top 10 best games that I found for the Switch so far. And I'm actually going to make it a little bit harder on myself. I'm not going to put any re-releases on this list. Sorry, Thousand Year Door. They could be released to other systems like Xbox or PC, but nothing in that Nintendo's released previously, like the Wii or the GameCube. So I thank you all for watching and have a great day.